Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the It's Racecar Time podcast. It's Minty, as always. Just to give us a quick intro to this. Sorry about big-headedness at the moment. Technical difficulties. Don't make fun of me too much, but at least I covered it, am I right? Anyway, to get this one started, we go quite a bit into a couple fun topics, one of them being how to get your significant other or friends into racing for the first time, like how would you go about introducing them to the sport. Number two, things happening in Formula One, some of the crazy stuff that's happened in Supercross just recently, as well as some of the more interesting types of racings that we think should happen or are currently happening, or not quite yet happening. I don't know. We go into quite a bit, so I hope you guys have an exciting interest into the podcast. Please stop by the Discord. We need to see more memes popping up in there. And there will be a link down in the description below for that as well. Anyway, enjoy the podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the It's Racecar Time podcast for episode number 4. This one's probably not going to be quite as long just because there's really not a lot going on right now. But it's us again, your boy Minty, every week, as well as Mr. Neil himself. Nab, that's with me here. Clearly excited about what we're doing. Sorry about my disgusting face in the last 3 episodes, so I decided to hide it on this one. Please let me know if you think that was a good idea or a bad idea.
It is.
It's a good idea or a bad idea?
It is a good idea.
All right. Well, fuck me,
it's
I guess.
It's a bad idea too. No, yes. Just yes.
Make up your mind.
Is it a good idea or a bad idea? Yes. It is.
All right, fair enough.
It's like glass half full. It's the glass half full or the glass half empty. It's the same type of thing. It's all about perspective.
The glass is half.
It's just half.
It's just half. It's half.
It's just half.
All right. Well, this is clearly kicking off super well. Like we were saying earlier, not too much going on this week. We did watch some races this week, though, so I did as well this time, holding myself accountable a little bit.
Okay, well, let's start with that. What were the races you watched this week?
I watched the NASCAR race on Sunday, and then a little bit of e-racing. I believe there was a celebrity event this weekend that I caught, like about half the race. I don't remember everybody that was in
that that all-star race at the Blancpain GT series, the GT World Challenge was?
Oh, yeah, you're right. The yes. That is the name of the one. You are correct. That one was pretty boring, I'm not going to lie. Not a ton happened. A couple wrecks. It's racing.
Yeah, I think you told me about it, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to bother watching it, because I don't think it's going to be very entertaining. And I apparently was right.
They can't all be super
exciting. I can tell you one thing. Yeah. Well, that's one thing, most people keep talking about with racing. They're always like, oh, racing's so boring. I was like, well, not every baseball game is Game 7 World Series walk-off home run.
Every baseball game's boring, that's the difference.
Yes, there's the few that are absolutely amazing, and then most of them are just kind of mediocre, and some of them are just piss poor. You never know. You just have to watch it and hope it's a good race, and then go from there, essentially. I mean, it's just like every sport. Every sport's like that.
Yeah, actually, that's a good idea for a topic that we should discuss.
Okay.
For all the race fans out there, because obviously if you're watching this, you're into racing. There's no other way to go about saying that. So you're already aware of the ups and downs of entertainment value when it comes to racing. But if you're trying to get somebody into racing for their first real experience or whatever, to sit down and watch a race, or maybe even let's say sit down and watch a race, because going to a race, it's really easy to be a fan and have a good time while you're at a race. But what is a good way to go about introducing someone to the sport of racing in itself if you're gonna watch it on TV?
That is really hard.
Yeah,
it really depends. it really depends on the person that you're trying to introduce. If they're already a car guy, like even if they're not like a race fan, but they're a car guy,
right?
You can like go that direction. But if they're like not even a car guy, if they're a sports fan, you can kind of do that. But then if they're not a sports fan, I think most of the time what I've tried to show is like the really good races, like highlights of good races.
Okay.
Like the last 20 minutes of, I can't remember what year it was, but the last 20 minutes of the 24 Hours of Daytona, when it came down to the 31 Wheelin Cadillac DPI and the number 10 Cadillac DPI, and it like was just back and forth for the last 20 minutes.
Right.
And really you just have to explain, like, they've been doing this, like, racing like this for 24 hours straight.
See, that's what I love about, like, WEC and fucking IMSA cars and fucking even, regular Le Mans or LMP2 cars. Just, like, the classes that are going at it, the people that are in the first, like, I don't know, let's say 4 positions in any class, have been going at it for 24 hours. Like, they're not just like, oh yeah, driving around, see who fails, and then take the first position. No, like, they go at it for 24 hours straight. That is nuts. And
sports car racing wasn't always like that.
True.
Like, in the early stages of sports car racing, like the first Daytona race where the Ferrari was like 3 laps ahead and he knew it.
Yeah.
And his engine was about to blow up, so he just stopped at the start-finish line and parked it, and then just waited for like 2 seconds left in the race and just hit the start button so it would just creep across the line.
Right.
And he won the race because he knew he was 3 laps ahead. There was no way they would catch him, even if he just sat there for 2 laps.
He's just watching people fly by. Can you imagine being that spotter for him, though? Just like, oh, fuck, dude. Oh, Jesus.
I don't think they had spotters.
Please start back up. Well, racing is always
I don't think they had spotters back then. Like, that was in the 60s. I don't remember what year, but I doubt it. They barely had seatbelts. Like,
you're not wrong.
It was only like a couple years. It was only like a decade after they got rid of the riding mechanics at Indy type of thing.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Like,
you're not wrong. I had not considered that.
Instead of a pit crew, you just carried your pit crew in the seat next to you.
It's so funny that's how, like, all racing used to be like that. Like, any long distance style race was just that, or the mechanic was the driver. One of the two. That's super funny.
Yeah.
Oh, but going
for weight savings.
That's the best way.
It's like, just carry your own tools and kick that guy to the curb. He's useless anyways.
But going back to our previous topic of getting somebody involved in racing for the first time, if you had to pick one series to, like, introduce to someone that's casual, someone that, like, I haven't really been into racing, but I get the appeal and I want to try it, what kind of racing would you like, put up on the TV?
Me personally, I would do a NASCAR road course race.
I knew you were going to say NASCAR.
But specifically a road course race.
Right.
If you show them a restrictor plate race, it looks like just okay, I can do that on the freeway.
Yeah.
Yeah, just round and around and hold the foot to the floor. Okay, it's kind of boring until they crash, and when they crash, they just look like they're idiots. So specifically a road course race, which, trying to think which road course, though. That's the hard part.
Because that is very hard. You could potentially even do a Roval course, although I think that might be a little, like, advanced as far as being a racing fan goes, like really understanding why Roval courses are super cool.
Well, so I have a friend named Chris England who he went with me to the first Charlotte Roval race that they had. Okay. And before he went, like, I bought the tickets, and so it's like, dude, I just want to go to this race, and I want somebody to come with me, so just come with me.
Yeah, you don't want.
So like I was like, you're not in a NASCAR at all, but just come. You want to hang out? Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
So we did, and then after the race, he was like, yeah, okay, I kind of get it. And like he's a car guy. Like he has he used to have an original Mini. He used to daily drive a 280Z.
Okay, so he knows cars. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, like he's a car guy. Yeah, he's a car guy. His first car was that 280Z. He still has it, and he's currently working on it slowly.
Oh, I don't blame him. That thing has gone up in value.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's no way he's getting rid of that car. That's his baby.
Oh, for sure.
And he enjoys cars, but he never understood the appeal of NASCAR or actual watching racing. He was just like, oh yeah, that's a cool car. Oh yeah, that's a cool car. And then taking him to a NASCAR race, he was like, yeah, okay, I get it. Like,
fair enough. Yeah, I guess.
So like the Roval race is actually probably a good one because you get the high banks like a regular NASCAR race, but you also get the honestly terrible braking, terrible steering, and all braking. Like, let's be honest. I mean, trying to drive a NASCAR Cup car or Xfinity car or truck or whatever around a road course is probably one of the hardest and dumbest things you could possibly do.
Yeah, they're like
do it.
Pretty much any muscle or pony car where it's really just built for straight line speed.
And yeah.
Very minimal.
Usually it winds up just looking spectacular because they just like hit a curb and they just fly up and they're two-wheeling it and
yeah, no, that makes sense.
The only thing that surpasses that is the Stadium Super Truck Series for like just the ungainliness of off-road trucks trying to go around a road course that they just stuck some freaking metal ramps that they fly off of. Like, those are the only things more ungainly than a stock car going around a road course.
I get so nervous watching that just on the amount of fucking lean they have in every single corner. It's like, dude, someone's gonna flip at any moment trying to take a corner too fast, but no one ever rolls it. It's it's like that constant gut feeling of like, oh fuck, someone is going upside down into that wall. Fucking with the trucks and trophy trucks and all that. I was gonna say,
what were you gonna say for if you wanted to introduce a racer?
Right. I was thinking that stock cars, just watching stock cars themselves, are very kind of a boring platform visually. Like if you were to take all the stickers off and all that stuff off, the silhouette of the car, super boring. Obviously, there's a reason
I could see that.
But for somebody that's
they're not the epitome of technology.
No, they have flip up thingies for when they spin that are held on by twine. But I was going to say, if you're going to introduce somebody to the sport as a whole, I would say pick something with an interesting silhouette. People that are going to be pretty damn good at casting that don't sound kind of dumb, if that makes any sense. Like, not to say anything about the casting in NASCAR, but I think it's a very southern specific thing, even though a lot of it happens up north. Like, it's very, heavy on the accents. People are very politically motivated in the races, very religiously oriented in the races as well. And they talk about that a lot. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, I'm just saying that is something that happens a lot, so it can be quite divisive.
It's just their origins. Just like Formula 1 is very European.
Right.
I
was going to say, if I was going to introduce a female to racing for their first time on TV or something, I probably would go with Formula 1, just because super exciting to look at. Every driver out there is basically visually a fucking god. I mean, these guys are all gorgeous, and that never hurts for getting a female into the sport.
I don't know, Kubica?
Well,
Kubica? I don't know.
The people that you see regularly are very attractive dudes.
Oh, okay, yeah, the ones that actually win races. That's right, okay.
Yeah, and the people that are going to be talked about and shown a lot. I think that's a good way to get, a girlfriend or, a wife or somebody into it. Now, if I was going to say, like, a buddy of yours, I think touring cars would be really cool. Because it's super aggressive. It's not just going around in the circle the whole time. And obviously, everybody's out there for fucking blood, and it's so exciting to watch every single time, no matter what. I would say touring
that's
cars.
Very similar to, like, my thing of, like, stock cars on a road course. British touring cars at, like, Thruxton or something like that. Freaking insane.
Oh, yeah, they're absolutely
especially, like, if you show them, like, mid-90s. Like when they had the full-size Volvo station wagon,
right?
Going up against Audi Quattros, and just crazy shit like that.
Totally nuts.
Honestly, that actually makes me think of another good way to get someone just starting to kind of into it.
Okay.
Is like going to like a vintage racing festival, like Goodwood, or MIDI or Rolex at Laguna Seca, so you can see
Rolex
all these different
Daytona.
forms of racing,
yeah.
Or the HSR Daytona, or the SVRA event that they have at the Indianapolis Road Course.
Right. I was just saying that's cool if you can go to the race. If you can go to a race, then your options are just way the fuck open. But like watching it specifically on TV. I don't feel like vintage cars would be as cool to see on TV if you're brand new.
I agree with that. That makes sense.
If you're trying to get like your kid or something into racing, or you're bringing a date, or your buddies with you or something, I think vintage racing cars are really cool. Because like last time I went down to the Rolex 24 in Daytona, before they kicked off the 24 itself, they had a vintage, what's it called? Now of course I'm losing it. Like WBC cars from like 60s, 70s, 80s, all the way up to the 90s, all racing around with each other, and then they pull off and they pull into a special area that anybody can go up to. You can talk to the drivers of the cars, you can touch at the cars. Sometimes they'll even let you sit in the damn car. But it's all very like up close and personal for like a long period of time, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, British touring cars would be freaking awesome. That's a good one. Especially the good thing about those is that they still look like the road car. Yeah. Even like the British touring cars now, and also like the TCR cars now. Like the TCR cars have more aerodynamics than the British touring car championship.
But they still have to keep the same body though, for the most part.
I think the TCR, they do allow like fender flares and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you could build off of it, but like the main like body of the car that it ships with has to remain. It has to maintain
like the headlights
silhouette.
are all the same, the doors are all still the same, the roof is all still the same, the trunk is all still the same. They just might have little flares and widgets everywhere.
Maybe a big wing.
But you look at that like, oh yeah, that's a Audi A4. Oh yeah, that's a what else? An Alfa Romeo. That's, I don't even remember all the different TCR cars. There's so many out there. Oh, that's a Hyundai Veloster.
Oh, yeah. I forgot the Veloster is in that one. TCR specifically. And then, if you have weeb friends, you can get them into Super GT. Because they've got... I was going to say isekai, but that's not right. I forgot the word. They put anime girls on the side of the car. I can't remember the term for that.
Yeah, the whatever.
It's I know the word. I can't think of it though. Fuck it. Whatever.
See, I like when they put the anime girls on the side of Super Formula cars.
Yeah, that is pretty
love
funny. I like
the Super Formula car. That thing is freaking gorgeous, and it sounds sick.
They've got like Hatsune Miku on it.
Yeah, and then that too.
Yeah, right.
It's just like,
I love that they embrace it. I think it's sweet. I wouldn't do it to my own car, but I also don't drive a Japanese car.
Well, I do.
You do, and you have lots of decals on your car.
I haven't seen anyone guess our cars yet.
Yes, I haven't seen that either. Also, bonus points if you do that, or if you do win.
But I just gave him a hint that I drive a Japanese car, so.
Well, we said Toyota engine. For you.
Well, yeah, I guess we did say that. I forgot.
Yeah, but
we
bonus
said
points
engine.
to whoever wins, or whoever makes the guess on his car, I'll let you pick out an anime peeker sticker, the ones that they put in the window that have like the top half of the face, that I'm going to slap on his car when he's not looking. I'll let you pick out a character.
Oh dear. Well, I mean, my car has a bunch of stickers on it. So
I know. It'll blend right in. That's the funny part.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But we'll put it up on the Instagram if you get it.
Okay. Yeah. I'll go with that. I got some window stickers on my car, so.
Most of them look really good anyway. Like, the people that are making those kinds of stickers make, like, really high-quality work.
Yeah.
Or we can just put boobies on it. I don't know.
I don't know how my wife would feel about that.
She'd be jealous. You care more about your anime characters than you do me!
No, that's not true.
Oh, I know that's not true.
So, I mean, yeah, I think that's really the best way, is just try to find the most exhilarating, exciting, close competition racing out there.
Yeah, no, I do agree. And they have to have very distinctive visuals as well.
Yeah.
So, like, people that can be like,
I
know who's in front.
And it also kind of depends on the person, too.
Yeah,
like, if you're showing a female who is... what could you possibly be telling me, ESPN? Like, most of the sports are canceled.
Oh, shit, I don't know if that noise is going to be copyright in the video or not. I might have to bleep that out. I'm not totally sure. I might do it
well,
anyway.
We'll find out.
Yeah, whatever.
Just let it go. Oh, okay. That might have been nearly spoilers for the IndyCar race. So the IndyCar race is, like, happening, like, right now. And I have it on DVR. I haven't watched it yet, so we'll probably be talking about that next week.
That'll be fun. Yeah, I do want to get into IndyCar.
Yeah, that IndyCar Texas race. I'm probably going to watch it after we're done with this.
That's not
especially because of the aero screen on an oval for the first time ever, and they don't have practice.
Yup, it's going to be nuts.
Yeah, they have qualifying and then straight into the race. I'm like, okay, that's nuts.
I love it. We should do that every time.
Well,
actually, I was talking to my... Oh, no, continue.
No, but that's part of the reason why I think the NASCAR races that they've had so far have been so good. Where they literally just show up, roll off the truck with the setup you already have, and then race. No tinkering around all weekend trying to get the perfect setup. Guess what? Some people aren't going to have the perfect setup, and they're going to slide around, and they're going to be dramatic, and just... You'll be trying to drive as fast as you can, but the car can't handle the corner as hard as you're pushing it, so you have to just manhandle the damn thing.
Right.
Like, that's the one thing about drifting, is you're intentionally causing that, but because it's intentional.
Drifting's funny because, like, the entire concept of you're purposely putting the vehicle out of control as in control as you physically can be.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's worth watching, though. It's so exciting just to watch.
It's one of those things that I can watch every once in a while just because, like, I'm at awe of their skill.
Oh, yeah. It's nutty.
But then the reason I don't get completely into it is because I don't like competitions based off judges' scores. I hate all of them.
Well, a lot of it now is actually computer tracked. So they have sensors in the front and back of the car and the sides of the cars as well, depending on the series. And then they have basically like laser or sonar ping. Oh, no, not sonar. I don't know. Basically, it reads distance to the things you're supposed to be putting the car next to. And then also distance with the car that you're supposed to be chasing if you're the chase car. And that way it's judged specifically off of a computer-based score, and then they have judges there just for, like, style points, really, just like who did the most impressive thing. And I think that gives it a little bit more validity as far as an actual competitive event goes.
Yeah, not my thing.
All right, well, fair enough. If you're...
Yeah, fair. I mean, yeah. Like, I was never into, like, skateboarding for that reason. Like, when X Games was around, Well, X Games is still around, but like
Street League is a thing, though.
The thing I got into X Games with was when they started bringing Rallycross in, which they don't have Rallycross in the X Games anymore.
Yeah, Travis Pastrana was killing it too hard.
Well, Ken Block did well too, and
He did well. I'm trying to remember if Baccarood was in it. I don't know if he was ever in.
I think he was.
X
Andreas
Games.
Baccarood. Yeah, Baccarood was in it.
Well, I know he's done. Well, they've all done Grid, WRX, or no?
Yeah.
No, it is WRX.
Well, yeah, WRX World Rallycross, FIA World Rallycross.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the
Gymkhana's becoming an actual sport now, isn't it?
Gymkhana? Oh, well, it kind of always is. Gymkhana is just a Japanese name for solo.
Right, but I mean, like as like a named series.
Is there? I haven't heard about this.
I thought there was a rumor of that going around, or maybe I saw it on someone's Instagram. If I could spell.
I'm sure Ken Block is the one like behind it because he probably owns the copyright on the word Gymkhana in the U.S.
Oh, it would not surprise me. Oh, that's funny. Apparently the name actually started from Genghis Khan's racing series, where they had to pick up flags. That's interesting. Okay, so it's the Grid series. The Grid series is it's the Gymkhana Grid. I've always just known it as Grid, but apparently it's Gymkhana Grid.
Okay, so I don't know this Grid series. Describe this to me. So is it like solo? Like SCCA autocross, or?
It's head-to-head, like 1v1 parallel courses that's effectively set up like a Gymkhana run is. So, you go head-to-head and do the same run mirrored to each other at the same time. And you have to hit, a certain amount of obstacles. Well, they tell you which obstacles you have to hit. But you're trying to get all around them as fast as possible and then back out of the course. But you have to complete all of them in a certain amount of turns around it. So it is a race. It's a head-to-head race. They just obviously can't do it directly next to each other if they're going to be going for speed. And then obviously it's, like 20 cars go at it all day until a winner's decided.
Okay. So it's tournament-style hyperdrive on Netflix.
Yeah, basically, except way less cheesy.
And, no, water features and...
So weird.
and the leveler.
Is that the big planky thing?
Yeah, the big crane thing, where you had to get it perfectly level, and then you could drive forward off of it.
Yeah, and wasn't it like episode 3 or something? Someone made it halfway up, and their car stalled out and couldn't go any further or something? I don't remember.
Yeah, I didn't finish the series.
I don't know, it's goofy.
I checked it out at first, but, it's reality TV, and... cars are... Some of the cars on that show were cool, but most of it was just like, meh.
Oh, fuck! That brings up a point I was going to say. It reminded me of something I was going to say earlier. Anyway, quick going back to drifting. If you're not super into competitive drifting, but watching people do it, I think a really cool way to do that is, obviously on YouTube, but is to find old mid to late 90s, early 2000s footage of people out on, Japanese mountain roads. Because everybody that was in it had a VHS tape, and they would put them in the car, in front of the car, people following with them. And then it's all really cool, lifestyle stuff, so it'll show people hanging out. Every legendary vehicle when it comes to drifting. I would name them all, but there's too many to name. But super interesting way to do it. A lot of times they'll put, some music over it that's, kind of like vaporwavy or whatever that's in your thing. Super aesthetic, and I fucking love watching it. I could do it all day. It's absolutely captivating. And then go watch it at the highest professional level now, and it's like, holy fuck.
Yeah, it's a completely different level now. Because the cars are so much different.
Oh yeah, they're running NOS and turbos and V8s all in the same fucking package, and then putting it sideways on purpose. It's nuts.
Yeah. And then another thing I like to go back and do, and I've actually been doing that a lot lately because of COVID, not allowed to leave the house, and stuff. Going back and watching old best motoring videos, because those were awesome.
Oh yes, yeah. I've
Yeah,
seen a little
Best
of that.
Motoring. If you don't know Best Motoring, go back and watch, or just type that into YouTube. You'll watch these legendary Japanese drivers doing some of the craziest heel toe shifting and stuff. Like, and I think most of these guys were Super GT professional drivers for the brand that they were driving. So, like, they helped develop the car that they're driving, and it's full production cars racing around Japanese road courses, and it's some of the sickest stuff ever.
Well, I think it's cool because they do it on, well, road courses for one, like those same, backwoods mountain roads, and then they'll also do it on tracks as well. And a lot of times what they do is compare the old car to the new car. So, like, say when the new Supra came out, they would, have somebody drive that. That's normally the, what's his face that ran Super GT? I can't remember his name. Is it Orido? I don't remember. Either way, these guys have all been friends forever, and then they'll put the older car guy, which is always Tsuchiya, who's like known as the DK, or if you've seen, Tokyo Drift, DK is Drift King. He's like the DK since like the late 80s. Like, he's the guy that basically pushed it into the limelight. And he'll always drive the older car and put up like an insane fight against whatever the newer car is. He's absolutely fucking nuts, insanely skilled driver. Pretty funny too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, those are always super interesting. And I think I don't know if they canceled the show and brought it back, or if they just never really stopped, but it kind of lost popularity. But I know it's...
What, Best Motoring?
Yeah, they're still putting out episodes, I believe.
Oh, I thought they got rid of that a long time ago. I think that stopped in like the early 2000s. Like right when Top Gear started getting popular.
Oh, no,
I think they always have like DVD collections coming out all the time.
Oh, they definitely do.
Yeah.
This might be the magazine that I'm looking at.
Oh yeah, the magazine's still going.
Oh, I know the magazine's still going, but I thought they brought the show back, and I want to say this was right, 2016 it might have come back?
In Japan?
Yeah, but you can find it on YouTube. Because I know I've seen, like, new FRS and shit on there.
Okay.
I want to say the new... Yeah, they did a, like, Civic from every decade race as well. Obviously, the new one absolutely fucking
that's
smacked
cool.
it.
Did they do one of those, like, handicap-style things where, like, the earliest model went first and then, like, the current Civic Type R started last type thing?
Yeah, they did that.
Oh, okay.
Of course, because otherwise it's just zero fucking chance. Which is funny, because I think they put, like, a really old racing driver in the old car, like a guy in, like, his 80s. And he's just like, I'm going for it! And then it's, like, fucking Tsuchiya or whoever in the current Type R just zero fucking chance. It's great.
Well, like, I always love seeing those single lap comparisons that they do between, like, I think there was one that I remember at the Australian Grand Prix. I can't remember what year it was, but it was like a stock Ford Falcon, a Ford Falcon V8 supercar, and a Ford Stewart Formula One car. And they would send the bone stock car out like 30 seconds ahead of the V8 supercar, and then they would send the Formula One car.
Yes,
like,
I know which one you're talking.
Like nearly half the lap after the V8 supercar did. So like
and it was
the stock car, and then they all crossed the line at the same time.
Oh, that's funny, just to show that it was... Well, I thought I saw one that they did, which is basically exactly what you're describing, at Mount Panorama, out in Australia, of course.
I've seen...
But I thought the Formula car just passed the V8 car at, like, the last corner, which is, like, a mile away from the finish, but...
Yeah.
And then, obviously, the stock car just putzing along, finally makes it at the very end, like 10 seconds behind or something.
Yeah, I think they did. I saw another one. I think it was at Red Bull Ring. So, the old A1 ring.
Right.
which actually will bring up our next conversation about Formula One.
Right.
But it would be, they had a MotoGP bike that was sponsored by Red Bull. They had I can't remember what else they had. They had a MotoGP bike and a Formula One car from Red Bull Racing. They had something else. I can't remember what it was. I don't think it was a street car.
I think
it was
I
some
know
other
which one
racing
you're
car that
talking
Red Bull
about.
sponsors. Oh, it was a rally car.
Okay.
That's what it was. Like a rallycross car.
Yeah. WRC car.
And they were all sponsored by Red Bull, and they were at the Red Bull ring, and they did the same thing.
Yeah, and obviously the Formula One car won.
Oh yeah,
The MotoGP car came in second, didn't it? Or car, the bike.
I mean,
the MotoGP bike.
they plan all this stuff.
Oh, of course, but
yeah, I mean, I don't take any of them seriously. They're just cool to watch, just to see how.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
How fast, just to give a comparison on it. Like even when you're going like 5/10, the speed difference between the different vehicles.
Right. I love the Red Bull's really cool with their promotional videos, but I like the one they did where they took like 2 different supercars and then like MotoGP bike, the Formula One car, some other vehicles that I don't remember, and then they had a fucking stunt plane and then a fighter jet, I think was all of them, and they lined them all up on the same line. And I think
it had a drag race.
Yeah, I want to say the Formula One car won to the stopping point, but as soon as they passed that, the fucking fighter jet, of course, once again, flew by. We need fighter jet racing, dude. How do I fucking? We need to like rally everyone that watches this together. I want fighter jet racing.
I mean, we've talked about Red Bull Air Race, but those aren't fighters. Those are propeller planes.
Yeah, they're stunt planes.
I think the problem is with fighter jets is that they're just too expensive.
Costs less than a Formula One car.
No, like a freaking F-18 is
like 15 million.
Like an F-8. Yeah, a Formula One car is not that much money.
Oh, I mean, it is over the course of the season.
Oh, yeah, like their team budgets are, but I think the car itself is not as much as a Formula One car.
Probably like 5-10 million out of a standard Formula One car nowadays.
I think like a mid-pack Formula One car, like a current, like a Haas or something.
Sure.
Probably in terms of like materials and all that kind of stuff, it's probably worth, I would say, like,
a car can cost between 10 and 20 million, according to Quora.
Okay, 10 and 20 million. So a modern fighter jet, like a current level F-18, I bet it's probably like 45 to 50 million.
Okay. Yeah, F-15 Eagle currently 29.9 million. We'll call it 30 million.
Okay, 30 million. So
it's 10 million more. And you're not telling me rich people aren't willing to invest in fucking fighter jet racing? How sick would that be?
Probably because how would you cover it? There's no camera that can keep up with a fighter jet unless it's on another fighter jet.
That's what I'm saying is...
So just strap some GoPros to the front of fighter jets and then chase other fighter jets?
Yeah, that'd be sick. Well, here's just an idea. You give them certain spots around the country that they have to get to. Obviously, that's your course.
Okay, so it's like...
You can't do it in a ballpark, so it's got to be fucking...
So it's like a gumball rally, but across the planet.
Not necessarily across the planet, but you can cover it like over the United States or over Russia or over all of Europe or something like that.
You know what we're probably describing? We're probably describing like an Air Force just like Saturday night. It's like, hey, there's nothing going on over... They're probably just like, hey, there's nothing going on. Hey, buddy, I guess I'll race you to Dusseldorf. It's like, you're on.
Well, here's another fun idea. What if you did it as an endurance race where at particular intervals you have refueling planes fly up and then they refuel, and then
Yeah.
if it's a two-person cockpit, they can alternate who's flying.
I bet the military already does that type of stuff.
They're not going to authorize that. Come on.
Well, no, they you do know they have refueling planes, right? Like that's a common thing.
Well, that's where refueling planes came from, is the military.
Yeah, I was like, does he not know that these are a thing?
No.
I was like, what?
No, I know they're a thing. I'm just saying, the military doesn't authorize fucking fighter pilots to go racing each other across countries.
No, I don't think they're like racing each other, but I bet they're like, oh, look, there's some sort of terrorist in a hole 900 miles away. Go get them as fast as you can. Oh, by the way, if you need some fuel, we'll send up a freaking jet that refills your jet with more jet fuel.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, though. Wouldn't that be super exciting? And obviously they wouldn't have to carry, and they can't carry around any, machine guns and fucking missiles and air-to-ground rockets and
weight
shit.
savings.
Yes, weight savings, one. Savings. Two, because if they're crossing country lines, they can't be carrying a fucking payload with them.
Yeah.
And then, who knows? That could burst, faster planes or tighter turning planes or, who knows what. I think it's a good idea for, trickle down from Formula One to the rest of the automotive world. We could do that with plane technology. That'll be the excuse. I am down for fucking fighter jet racing.
Have you ever read or seen the show The Expanse?
I don't think so.
You don't think? Okay, well, it's a sci-fi series. There's a TV show that was on Sci-Fi. Now it's on Amazon, and I'm a big fan of the books. And in the books and TV shows, they actually have kind of like space Formula One, where you're like racing through the asteroid belt in these little spacecraft.
Okay, that sounds so
in like the
sick.
First couple books, it's kind of like the same idea, but you're talking about in the atmosphere.
Right, which we'll eventually get to as SpaceX gets bored of doing regular missions.
Yeah, that's one thing I was super excited about this week was the SpaceX launch.
Yeah. I caught the launch live. They were broadcasting it on Twitch.
Yeah, I watched it too.
I was still asleep when they docked because I was up till like 7 a.m.
yeah. I watched a replay of when they docked, but
yeah, I did too.
Because that part is awesome, but like it's not as awesome as Blast Off. Like, let's be honest.
Well, I would argue that the landing or the docking is more important, but obviously
it's much more important. But
the Blast Off itself is obviously way more showy. And dude, I didn't realize that rockets got up to like 30,000 kilometers per hour.
Well, yeah. How else are you gonna escape the gravity?
Well, I just figured anything over 1,000, you'd be able to do it. I don't know. I'm not a fucking space engineer. I'm not a rocket scientist here, man. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. I was like space engineer.
I was trying so hard not to say rocket scientist, and fuck it, whatever.
So you just took the two words that are practically synonyms.
Wait, space and engineer? Oh, two rocket scientists.
Yeah, rocket scientist.
Space
engineer.
They're
like, okay, what's the farthest from rocket and scientist can I get? You got as far as space and engineer. You didn't get that far.
Well, true. It makes me think of the fucking Dead Space games. Fucking Sam or whatever his name is a engineer. Although he's killing... He's killing space zombies instead.
Okay, we're getting so far off track. Can we get back to racing, like race cars? Because we've been talking about fighter jet racing. They have four wheels, but they're all in the plane while they're flying. So let's get back to race cars.
Yeah, well, it is race car time, isn't it?
Yeah, not race plane time or.
What about drone racing?
Any of that stuff.
Can we talk about drone racing? I don't know a lot about drone racing. That was just a point.
Well, we both know someone who has a friend that's in drone racing.
Oh, shit, you're right. Yeah, I forgot about it.
Yeah. But I know nothing. If anything, we could get Jared on here.
We should get
about
Jared
drone
on
racing
here.
Or something.
It's super cool to watch.
He could also
it's hard
talk
to tell
about
what
RC cars because I don't follow RC cars, and
he has been pushing me so hard to get into his RC
he pushed me in. He was trying to push me into it too, but I was just like, I just don't need another money pit.
Yeah, that's effectively the same reason I didn't do it. It's like I don't need another thing to just throw away money on. All right, race cars.
Okay,
Neil, tell me about the Formula One series. What do we know?
So we brought up the A1 ring, which reminded me that Formula One announced the first 8 comeback rounds, and the first 2 are going to take place at said A1, aka Red Bull ring.
Yep.
And then they're going to go to the Hungaro ring, and then Silverstone. They're going to do 2 races at Silverstone. Monza's the last one. That's in September.
Yeah. They've got
what was in between
Circuit de Barcelona and then Spa.
Barcelona, Spa,
and then
one
Monza.
thing I am shocked about is that there's no German track in there. Like, because at this point, the travel restrictions through the UK, the Europe, and all that.
Yeah.
And the amount of money Formula One and Liberty Media is probably losing because of all this. Just like everyone is dealing with this. Like, it probably would not be that hard on your way to Spa-Francorchamps. Like,
to hit up
hop off at
Hockenheim ring or
hop
something?
off at Hockenheim. You could do one at Hockenheim and one at Nürburgring. There's 2 more races right there to replace Singapore. They've already announced that Zandvoort isn't going to happen this year.
Yeah.
I think they already announced that Singapore isn't going to happen this year. I don't think Vietnam is going to happen this year. So, like, they're losing a lot of other tracks.
Yeah.
There's plenty of tracks in Europe that have recently hosted a Formula One race that they could use. And then they could go to the Middle East to finish off the rest. Like, just go in the whole section of, like, Abu Dhabi, Bahrain.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm like, where are you going with this one?
No, like the Middle East, Abu Dhabi, Bahrain, like all those.
Was it first?
Not freaking China.
First driver across Baghdad wins. Oh no, yeah, no. Obviously, Yas Marina would be really sweet. People really don't like the track, but
I love the track.
Night race car. Nighttime racing is just the coolest form of racing. I'm putting it out there.
I think Yas Marina is cool looking.
I mean, it's kind of a boring track where I get where they're coming from, but some of the corners are really technical, and I think that makes it interesting.
Yeah, like some of the chicanes, like right at the end of when I really was into sim racing, I used to do laps at Yas Marina all the time because I loved the first section of very super fast sweeping S's and then into that tight hairpin that goes onto that massive long stretch.
Right.
And then you had those tight, like, I think it's a great track on sim racing at least. I mean, obviously I've never been there. I've never been outside of the US. But like on TV and through sim racing, it's a fun track. I like it. I look forward to seeing it every year. It's probably one of my favorite Formula One tracks right now.
Right. Actually, they could... Yeah, well, obviously I don't think it's going to happen, but they could fit in a German track or 2 on their way to Spa, and then going from Belgium to Italy, hop across the water, and go hit up the Middle East for a little bit. I don't see why they couldn't. I mean... These races are only scheduled through the start of September. Like, literally September 6th is the Monza race. So, like...
Yeah.
They've got plenty of more time to figure it out. So I hope they would hit up
I'm also surprised that there hasn't been a French race at Paul Ricard announced yet. Like, when they're going to do the French Paul Ricard.
Also, I'm surprised they're doing Barcelona, but they're not doing Monaco.
Well, Monaco, because you have to set up all the barriers and stuff. There's less.
Sure, and everybody's inside right now.
Yeah, I would think Monaco is going to be would be a lot harder to pull off, just because it's a street course.
Yeah, but they've been doing it for the last 50 years.
Yeah, but even then, it's still a lot of prep work.
Are you saying like?
I don't think Monaco's going to happen.
No, they already announced that they're not going to do it. It just sucks because to me, that's my favorite race for a Formula One to watch every year. Like, I think
it is probably one of the grandest races, just because it looks like something that just should not be physically possible to drive a Formula One car through those streets.
It's something like straight out of like Need for Speed, but it's been going on for half a century at the highest tier of road racing.
And honestly, like, they're able to get around that course somewhat in an entertaining fashion.
Oh, yeah,
Unlike, so a lot of people love the Macau Grand Prix at the end of the year. I freaking hate it. I hate the Macau Grand Prix.
Because there's like nowhere to pass.
It's nearly impossible to pass. There's like the whole front side. If you get a good runoff out of the final corner coming to the start-finish line, you're essentially going to lead. You're going to be ahead of the person for half a lap. That's the only place to pass. And then there's one corner that is so bad that there's always a yellow there.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, no
matter what kind of car you're in. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry, that's just Ricky Dink pathetic. I hate that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think a lot of people do as well, that the Macau track is generally probably the least entertaining Formula One race to watch.
Well, that's not a Formula One race. I don't think it's ever been one. But Formula race or a GT race.
Kind of a Formula race.
Since they do all kinds of stuff. I don't even remember all the different races that they hold during the Macau Grand Prix weekend.
Yeah. Alright, I think that's enough Formula One for now, just because we've been going on for a lot longer than I thought we were going to this week.
Yeah, but, we started off saying a short one, and then we just got off on spaceships and jet fighters.
Yeah! Anyway, what else we got? We got Supercross coming back.
Yeah, I did want to mention Supercross. I did watch some of the Supercross from Salt Lake. I do enjoy Supercross. I wanted to go to the one in Atlanta, but I wound up having to work that night because, God dang it.
Well, I'm disappointed because I used to ride dirt bikes, and I still have yet to go to a Supercross race, so we might have to do that next year.
Yeah, I've actually never been to a Supercross race either, but I've watched Supercross like way back, like Ricky Carmichael and
the legend
and Jeremy McGrath.
Yeah.
And all of them. Like, I grew up watching them. Stewart, what's his name? Not Malcolm Stewart. Malcolm Stewart's brother, James Stewart. Yeah. That's his name. His older brother. So Malcolm Stewart is current. Did you watch any of the Supercross races this week?
I did not. No.
Oh my God. So the one thing I wanted to bring up is I really hope Cian Cirillo is okay. He got completely run over. I think it was Chad Reed that ran over him. He came on a whoop, and he kind of twisted and like fell over, and then someone else ran over the bike, and then I think it was Chad Reed. I can't remember who it was. Literally just ran over Cian Cirillo, and he didn't race again the rest of the night because he was injured. I haven't heard what he was injured with. I'm not sure if he's coming back for the next round.
That's a good question. Although those guys are normally really good about bouncing back from injuries, even considering, like, if you've never watched Supercross before, there's always something, like, horrific in every single race, effectively. Yeah. Where someone goes flying fucking 20 feet, and then someone runs them over, and then another guy hits the bike that's been flipping across the ground, and goes tumbling, too. Supercross is nuts.
Yeah.
And I love it for it. It's great.
Yes. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I've been excited. Oh! Well, another thing I wanted to talk about earlier was I watched the V8 Supercar race from Michigan on E-Racing. They did another oval, and this time all 3 races were on the Michigan oval.
Nice.
It wasn't quite as good as the Charlotte race that I love so much.
Well,
because that whole thing of like if you take 10 races, only like 3 of them are going to be good.
Yeah.
It was one of those things that got kind of spread out, but it was still pretty entertaining. And I still think that freaking NASCAR and V8 Supercars should figure out some sort of joint form together so
I think
you can get more crossover.
I agree, and I think they should do that to start in an E-Series race. I would love to see the Aussie NASCARs versus the American NASCARs. Not necessarily like, the car versus the car, but those drivers going at it with each other. Just to see how similar it actually could be. I think that would be super exciting to watch.
Like Marcus Ambrose, he won, I think he won 3 championships in V8 Supercars and then moved to NASCAR.
Yep.
I think he only won 2 NASCAR races, and they were both on road courses.
Ooh, that's an interesting
point.
Surprise. Still, I think it'd be really cool to see in an E-Series, but that was a while ago, wasn't it? That wasn't any time recently.
No, that was probably a decade ago now.
I was gonna say at least a decade. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact years that Marcus Ambrose raced in NASCAR.
Yeah.
And he hasn't come back since he retired from NASCAR. I assumed he'd show up somewhere in Australia.
Maybe he just made his money and he's done.
Yeah, I mean NASCAR. I think NASCAR makes the most money like behind WEC and Formula One. Well, like WEC, like if you're a factory driver in WEC, you probably make the same amount as like a NASCAR driver. But then there's a NASCAR driver, and then Formula One. Like those are the 2 highest paying drivers.
I wonder how well paid the rally drivers are, because rally's technically like the 3rd most popular sport in the world behind football, obviously soccer, and Formula One. Rally's like the number 3 sport in the world.
I doubt. I mean, they might get like above average salary from their racing teams, but I doubt that there's much like sponsorship dollars or.
Well, I mean, all like the only
ones that might have a lot of sponsorship dollars would be like only in Sweden, Finland, Norway, and the Great Britain.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about like WRC in general, like the top tier of rallycross racing, or not rallycross, rally racing, 2 completely different sports.
Yeah,
same shape of car.
Or maybe France because Sebastian Loeb and Sebastian.
Of course. But I mean, it's all factory-backed teams that are racing, so you'd think that these guys are going to be making a pretty damn good amount, especially considering it's arguably the most dangerous form of professional racing.
I would say, well, I wouldn't say it's the most dangerous. Most dangerous is most definitely TT. Ironman TT.
Yeah, no, TT is absolutely, especially the fucking sidecar racing. Holy shit, that is nuts to watch.
I can't watch that ever. I can't watch the TT.
That has an anime all about it as well.
Oh my god, I couldn't watch it.
Pretty stupid. I'm not gonna lie. I watched the whole thing just because I was like, well, that's the thing is, anytime there's like a racing anime, I'm like, all right, cool, let's fucking watch this shit. Fucking Initial D, Wang and Midnight. I can't think of any other off the top of my head right now, but 2-Car is the name of the anime if you're interested, and it's
2-Car, and it's the sidecar, specifically like sidecar motorcycle racing.
Yeah, it's all sidecar, but the racing portions are really cool. Like the backing story fucking sucks. Wait, Prince of Tennis or King of Tennis?
Is it Prince or King? I don't know. The weird tennis one.
Prince is also the one with the kid.
Baseball one.
Well, there's also.
I think they've made one like that for every single sport.
Everything but hockey. Still waiting on the hockey one.
Well, that's just because hockey is not popular in Japan.
It's not unpopular in Japan, though. Actually, the most up-and-coming talked about player that's still young, but everybody's expecting to hit NHL, is from Japan.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember
that's
the kid's
another
name,
thing
but
you guys
like
don't know. That
now.
Actually, me and Peter are actually big hockey fans.
Yeah, we are big hockey fans.
So, like,
you might have seen it earlier, but I put the Honda flag up. I had my Blackhawks flag there earlier.
I got my Atlanta Thrashers jersey behind me.
Oh, there you go. There it is.
So maybe we'll need to do It's Puck Time.
It's Puck Time. I like it. They already got the name.
Yeah, we'll do It's Puck Time for when hockey comes back.
Oh, we can do that as an extra credit episode.
We won't talk about the hockey tournament and Gary Bettman's announcement and
all that
shit, because we'll save that for its puck time.
It's puck time. It's puck time podcast. We might do that as a slide shoot. Yeah, we've been going for an hour now. I think we're just about done for the night. Quick plugs. Obviously, once again, we need to see more memes in the Discord because there weren't any new good ones this week. So please stop by the Discord, add yourselves in. We're allowing all of the IRT fans in. Obviously, there is some moderation. We've got the bot up and running. But please, drop your memes so that way we can post them at the end of the videos from now on.
You can also share it to our Instagram. I monitor the Instagram when it comes in. So if you want to just add us at It's Racecar Time or send us a direct message.
Yep, and you can always email us as well. I'm pushing the Discord just because I think the Discord's going to be a lot of fun once it kicks off personally.
Yeah. I'm down with both of them. I think the one and most important thing is that we need to say by the end of this podcast is that we really wanted to just do a podcast like this that is just a way to escape from everything that's happening with the coronavirus and the oppression of Black or African American people in our country, and just how everything that's going on right now. And we didn't want to bring it up right at the beginning of the episode just because we wanted to have more lighthearted and feel more as an escape so you can have fun for a little bit. But we wanted to make sure that we state that we are with the protesters and the people that are kneeling, and we hope that they stay safe and they don't catch coronavirus, because this is the worst time to be going out and protesting.
Absolutely.
When we're also trying to socially distance. And if you feel like you need to go out and protest, do it, but please be safe, and please show what you that you really mean change. And we are totally with this change, and we think this change needs to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. We are all for equality here on the It's Racecar Time podcast. And that's something that obviously has been a struggle for so many people for such a long time. And I'm glad to see that, there's finally been a tipping point. Unfortunately, it came at the
loss of so many people.
Yeah, and
unfortunately that this tipping point came too late.
I agree, and now it's come to a head, and hopefully something good is going to be coming of this soon, because it's been well deserved for such a long time.
Yeah. So we just wanted to make sure that we would say that we stand with you guys, and we hope everyone to stay safe and keep fighting the fight. We'll be here just to provide whatever entertainment we could possibly have, but we just wanted to say that we are with you guys.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's just about all we've got for now. Everybody, we hope you stay safe out there. Don't do anything that'll get yourself deliberately in trouble. Please wear a mask if you're going to be out at protests. Stay safe from the battle you can't fight physically. And I've been Minty, here with Nab as always, and hope you guys have a great week and a great night. Stay safe out there.